pretty dark and muggy right now. How do you feel, babe?
Alright. Check our radar.
Yeah. The reality of baby on board that is awake, a little hungry and fussy, and we have to be on the move in a split of a second.
That storm coming, so we gotta go, kid. She was so confused. I don't like how the predictions were completely 180 from, like, they're calling a southeasterly wind and this storm's coming out of the northwest, which
we've been in that scenario before.
Yeah, it goes to show you, like, yeah, maybe you're a bit skittish from, like,
yeah.
Honestly, now looking, like, we saw the wall come in, the first wall, and I was getting a little nervous because we have this haze on the horizon and it just kind of popped up. And it was a solid front, but
it looks lighter already.
It's a way lighter. I'm okay. I would have been okay sitting on anchor in this stuff. But whatever, we'll sit peacefully. We'll go over, grab a mooring real quick.
Better safe than sorry.
All of a sudden, the summer turned into the stormy weekend summer. With canceled charters and lows headed our way, all we could do was prepare and hide out as best we could.
Did it, Millie?
We sat there amongst the taller rigs, watching the lightning and feeling thunder that was shaking me to my core. I had never heard louder thunder in my life, and a few lightning strikes later, we were all convinced we would have been hit if we didn't move from our anchoring spot, as well as we were convinced we had seen a big catamaran only a few boats away get struck. And that was actually true. They did, and we were even more happy to be surrounded by the bigger yachts. Thunderstorms had never felt closer.
They are the solid. Got one? Oh. Storm's over. Storm's over. We can dance. 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 Dance.
Just as fast as it arrived, it was over, and we moved back to our anchoring spot feeling safe and sound.
Can you say bye, son? Bye-bye, son. Hello, thunderstorms.
It's funny how weather, knock on wood, tend to not come around as bad here in Sag Harbor. The locally well-known Sag Harbor split were often making sure we ended up on the outskirts of whatever storm headed in our direction. Still, we couldn't escape them all, and we had a couple of minor leaks and a snubber line that needed improvement before the next one.
Just getting water through. And now that we're on anchor, we really can't fix this problem right now. We have to kind of just
Try to limit the problem a little bit.
So silicone's the best option, I think. This is temporary, but this is our first rainstorm where we actually just saw the rod that goes down to the actual chain plates off of the side stays. This is our first time that we've got a rainstorm to see that it's actually leaking. And then I'll try to look at the top side and see if there's anything I can do when it quits raining.
Yeah. And it's probably gonna be easy to remove when we do fix it permanently too. Cody's very upset because he bought a piece for a new snubber line, which is way overdue. He bought one that's a little bit too
She's teething,
tight.
so we ended up getting
galvanized anchor chain. Don't chew on that, honey.
Millie's
My
new
nice new
dumbbells.
lines that I just tried to attach won't work, and now I'm mixing metals for tonight just because this will work. We'll go through our chain, and we can at least last for the little bit of storm that's coming in.
Therese doesn't
tonight.
Understand, but we're gonna drill
Also,
this.
Cody's like, oh, don't use stainless. Don't you dare use stainless. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the snubber we have already is also stainless. Pulling it out,
That's not.
that is stainless. So we don't care. We're gonna put those on.
For anyone living on Anchor, you know how important it is to feel safe using it. We have, as most of you know, been around the block with our MANSON, and it has dug in and set every time, leaving us pretty calm at all times. Our snubber line is supposed to ease the strain on the anchor chain as extra security when you hit those gusts. And the one we had been using was definitely not what you want to trust your life with, so this upgrade was well overdue. But still not perfect. But to calm you all down, we now have a longer line with the right attachment and should be well set for a long time.
So, still not the best setup. Still not what we wanted. The lines are a little bit too short. And we will definitely not be mixing metals for the foreseeable future. But it is better than this guy, which has been protecting us, or whatever, been our false security for the past 2 years. So.
With a new rainstorm hitting us, we finally planned project Get the Boat Situated. Since we moved back on board, there had been stuff everywhere, and with Cody off at work, it had been hard for me to get it all done by myself. As rain calls for Cody having the day off, we now made sure to take advantage of Millie's nap time.
Basically organizing our boat, and this is trying to stack Millie's room basically halfway with whatever we have, and then keep half of this open so that she can eventually sleep here until she gets bigger and we'll clear it out, and then hopefully keep this as a guest room. This is our broken davits just laying here, sad, twisted. And then yeah, hopefully this will be a living space again. Believe it or not, it should be a spot for everything. And my sewing gear is going to go underneath the table. Got a sewing machine. And yeah. Well, this is now a room that is more perfectly stacked with stuff. There's a little space up front here. These things can come out to where we can spend some more time with Millie in her own room. And I've also put out these little bins. They're IKEA. They are not natural materials, so they'll last in the rain. This inflatable thing, I still have to figure out what to do with that. Some lazy lights charging. These are awesome. I bet if you're a sailor you already know about these, but charge in the sun. You can 3 different levels of light, really good. Got her little beach thing folded up here. Have another little bin. So what do you want to do? Oh, it gets you busy. I thought it would be time for her to take a nap, but
Then you take a nap.
obviously not really working.
What do you think?
No sleeping?
You need to go to bed. You're supposed to take a nap. That way we can do boat work, but you're not taking naps.
When I say nap times, we don't really have any set times for those. They work themselves into the day schedule with her tiredness. Though, more often than not, they don't last very long, and multitasking becomes a big part of our lives.
Oh, smash! I have new rats. rags, honey. Does that look pretty cool? Can you growl too?
She's like, I'm busy sitting right now.
This is what I get to do.
So this is our workstation.
Polishing, because in all these production boats they seem to use the cheap materials.
It's ridiculous, like everything.
You get a bit of tarnish on it from leaving it for a bit. Fun fact for people who might not own a boat and are wondering how we clean the metals.
You can't throw away all your toys and then complain about not having any. Here you go. You got a ball though. Get it. Oh, threw that out too?
Alright, so back to this. Yeah, so we polish the metals on the boat. And that's what we're doing with our nice and lovely weather outside. But a couple products that we use, or that you can use, is colonite, which is a good one. And you can pretty much hit almost all the metal that's on deck and in the boat with this. Or you can use a better product, I think, is flits. This is just a basic metal cutting compound that just takes off the stuff on the surface. It's our first nor'easterly. We're having a nor'easterly party. Usually we would move from this spot if it were like calling for 10 more knots, but I know that it's just a little bit longer and this will start settling down tonight. So you always know when it gets close to 30 knots on this boat. But it's not too bad, but then with the 30 knots you always get that whistle. Yeah. You know, like that. It's like a one pitch, like you just know.
That's a big bounce.
Huh?
It's a big bounce right now. I don't really feel it too much, but yeah, we're catching up on our sailing shows.
Well, I just noticed you were like, oh, big bounce, and we're literally looking at the hat there and it's not moving.
Yeah, but it's up and down.
It is, it's an up and down move.
But yeah, we're catching up on our sailing shows while we still have some Wi-Fi, so.
Yeah, this is our TV.
We're also testing our batteries and our solar, everything, to see how much we can make on a rainy day. That's why we're not using the big TV right now, which is right there. We're trying to not use too much and then see what we're off with.
Okay, we don't need to brag about all the nice things that we have.
All the nice solar that's all over our deck right now, so we can't even go sailing.
Actually, nobody knows about this solar, technically.
By this point, they do. If you're a patron, you've already seen it, actually. So,
you snuck it behind my back.
Become a patron. If you're not, at least check it out. www.patreon.com/sailingvinyasa. I'll put a link on the screen so you can check it out. You don't have to, but we're very happy, very grateful for the ones who do. Yay! You want to say subscribe, honey?
Oh, somebody's getting tired. Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah. Whoever has this catch over here is having a great day. They've struck the pot of gold, honey. Huh?
So, it's a little dark, but we just picked up another mooring. And we're sitting here pretty close to the brick wall here, which should cover a lot of the east and southeasterly swell. The west is a little less protected, but it's still protected. We're still protected from all the southerly directions, so it should be good.
And then we're back to a mooring.
Champion mooring picker.
Champion. It's like I do it every day of my life.
Kind of.
Maybe 3 or 4 times a day.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Ready for Elsa.
So it's about 5:30, 5:40 in the morning now. We're just getting portions of this storm. So this is what the eye is doing here. You know, this is 40s, 50s, maybe even 60s. I know this is a gust chart, but... And we're sitting right here. But you're getting this weird... I think it's a complete 360 shift. And this is the parts that are going to be kind of nasty. It looks like it's not going to be bad, but it's like a strong easter on the gust now, which is sketchy because then that means nor'easter. You ready to go sailing?
No.
A little early morning pre-tropical storm sail. It's either that or we just bounce around for like 2 hours because it's moving so fast.
We're gonna bounce around for 2 hours, I say.
Yeah.
As Tropical Storm Elsa was approaching, we were sitting on another mooring ball further into the bay for a little extra swell protection. It seemed like the eye would pass straight over us, making it impossible to know wind direction for certain. But again, we weren't too concerned, and we were prepared for all. A tropical storm is a tropical cyclone that has maximum sustained surface winds ranging from 34 to 63 knots. And as we were sitting with our morning coffee waiting on the impact, we were also picturing Millie underway on passage with weather rolling in.
Getting a little bit more windy now. Everyone's spinning different directions.
Obviously, we would never leave safe harbor knowing a storm would hit us, but still, it's always a possibility that weather changes quickly.
Wispy water, honey. Wispy water means we ain't 30 knots.
Forces of nature can be scary, but Millie didn't seem to feel any fear or even acknowledge the circumstances, so I guess we just have to make sure we have the right setup before we ever go on passage.
Got quiet, and this was predicted that we would be in the eye of it. You can hardly even hear now, and it's gonna come back soon as it passes us. Little 5-month-old babies. They just want to stand. Hi. You just want to move.
You want milk?
Is that? Oh. Just switch north. That's always fun.
Tears keep on falling, the nighttime is ours. Oh, oh, Geronimo.
Storm is almost over. I'll say it's turned west now, and it's about to go about, like it's about to go back south. But it's getting sunny.